This is Doug, and welcome to the Practicing Accountant podcast. Today we have a great discussion in which we talk about lead gen. Is it good? Is it bad? I have some assumptions, which they might be wrong, but I have them anyway. We also talk about the right and the wrong way to grow your firm. I had a busy day. It sounds like you did too. Thinking a lot about accounting and as I normally do, and public accountants and solopreneurs and I spend, I go on walks in the morning, I don't know, it's usually around 6. And some days I think about crazy stuff and, the movie I've never written or the movie I've never scripted or the book I've never written or what I screwed up on the day before. But a lot of times I just go out there and I think, okay, what can I do today to help, my clients or public accountants in general? And sometimes I have really good walks where I come back all energized and I'm going to get up to this one. And today I came back from my walk and I couldn't land on anything today other than to serve the clients I have and show up to this and have this conversation today. That's as far as I got today. So that's what's going on.
Nice.
What about you?
Well, I had a long drive today. Went 7 hours down south and then back up north and back home. And kind of the impetus of this conversation, radio versus streaming. I had zero service the whole trip. And so I had nothing downloaded. And I ended up listening to the radio, and it was wonderful.
Was
It
it?
was great. Yeah. I enjoyed it. There were songs that came up that I would never pick, but they were jams. It was peaceful. When was the last time you listened to a radio?
I listen to radio all the time. I prefer radio because I think, kind of to your point, you never know what you're going to get. There's some stations I won't go to because I know what I'm going to get every time. If I go to 103.5 and listen to classic rock, every song that comes on, I've heard hundreds of times, not thousands. Yep. And if I go to an R&B station, I'm probably going to hear a song that I haven't heard in 20 years or so, but maybe I don't need to hear it again, or maybe I'm excited to hear it again. And then there's some stations, there's one, I don't even know what the call sign is of it, but every time I go to it, I hear stuff I've never heard before. And it's always interesting because I'm like, how I never heard, this song or that song. And it turns out they're just not very popular, but it's just a different mix. And when I use my streaming, when I go to Apple Music or Spotify or whatever I use, even there, I'll tend to lean into stuff I know versus stuff I don't, and stuff just I know that I like, and I'll appreciate that. But I don't hear a lot of new music when I'm streaming. Do you?
No. Same old.
There are some playlists out there. There's one called Sandbar on Apple Music, which if you have Apple Music, I highly recommend it. But it's country music, typically themed around summer and beer and sands and beaches, and you get a lot of Chesney, you get a lot of Zach Brown,
Buffett maybe.
Yeah, not so much Buffett. They don't do. No. They have Buffett in there because he's always singing, or he was always singing with a country guy, or gal. But anyway, it's just every once in a while I get a new song there, and so that's kind of nice. But the reason that I think this is a great topic. Let me back up. Have you ever hired someone to bring you leads for your business?
No.
Why not?
I haven't really needed to. Mm-hmm. We have relationships with other accounting firms that we pay a referral fee for, and maybe in that sense it's kind of paying for the lead, but never hired salesmen to go out and chase down leads for us. No.
Yeah, I haven't either, and I'm curious, and I'm kind of hoping that we might put some language around this video when we place it, or afterwards, just to get some feedback from folks that have used lead generators and their experience on it. Because all I have is suspicions, really. Because I like you, I'm sure you probably get, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 10 emails a day from someone who promises to bring you all the clients you could ever handle, and how they took their client from, six figures to seven figures in 6 weeks.
Very true. Yep.
And,
All
and
day long.
apparently they're very good at what they do based on the emails I get, but I have yet to respond to one. So I have a lot of presumption
Yeah.
around working with a lead generator, but I'm also curious too, to know what that's like. And I would invite anyone that watches this to share with us what it is like to work with a lead generator if you have worked with one,
Mhm.
because I know they're out there on Facebook. And I know they're out there on the internet. And I know a lot of accountants have reached out to and used them. And I've often really, really been curious about what that experience is like.
Yeah.
So
What's the quality that they're bringing in?
the quality and well, maybe I should share some of my presumptions. And this is where I would welcome, some real insight rather than just what I might guess. Like I would guess with a lead generator that they're going to provide you with a lot of things that don't necessarily fit. Like they may start and ask you like what kind of clients you're looking for, what kind of work you're looking for, what kind of size you're looking for, what kind of fee do you normally charge, and you give them a lot of information. It's kind of like when you start with public accounting and they say, do you like to travel and what industries would you like to be in and how many hours would you like to work? And you're like, oh yeah, this is great. They're totally going to listen to me and they're going to give me this chance to work the way I want to and I can work on all this stuff. And then you start and they're like, no, you don't get to travel to the nice places. No. And no, you can work on oil and gas someday, not today. And,
Right.
the hours are what we tell you they are. And I'm sorry, but that's how it is. So I kind of imagine it. And it's similar to also recruiters. Recruiters, they ask you, what is it you're looking for? And you're like, well, I want to work in healthcare and I want to be a CFO. And they're like, okay, sure. And then they start sending you like accounting manager and controller positions and like construction and manufacturing, because that's who their clients are.
Yep.
And then they get pissed when you don't accept the invitation to interview for these jobs. And you're like, well, that's not what I asked for. Why would I?
Right.
So I think that I draw on those the real experiences as far as lead generation goes. Like it feels to me like the onboarding sounds very promising. And then my assumption is that they just basically throw you, whatever comes along. And maybe it fits, maybe it doesn't, but because it's work, because it pays cash, you say yes to it. And you start working with that individual and you grow the wrong way. You grow with clients that you really shouldn't have, or that you're planning on firing, or aren't paying you what you deserve, or in a niche or in an industry or of a type that you shouldn't be working with, and who likely probably don't really care about the relationship they have with you. And you maybe just do work and you never see again. And I think growing that way is the wrong way.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my assumption.
It reminds me of hiring from Indeed also.
Mm-hmm.
Put in all your parameters for the person you're looking to hire. And you get people that have never even been in accounting applying to the job. Clearly didn't read the post. Just
Well, there's one of my clients is currently hiring for a position, and it's a nice position, and it pays really well, like mid six figures. And they put out the job description in various spots online, maybe LinkedIn, I think they did, and then one other spot. Well, they got 200 resumes in like the first 5 minutes. And the job description is tight. Like you've got to be like a unicorn to apply for this thing, like based on its qualifications and experiences you should have had and whatever. And I guarantee you of those 200, there's probably like 2, maybe 5 that would, actually stand a chance to actually perform in this position. But that's how it works, right? And so that again fuels my assumption, and as you've confirmed as well, that, these lead gens are just giving you opportunities for work.
mm-hmm.
Check.
Yep.
But for work that you probably shouldn't be doing. And here's the unfortunate news. Accountants are not strong in business development for the most part. And that doesn't mean them all. It doesn't mean everyone. It doesn't mean a percentage. In my experience, accountants just haven't enjoyed or wanted to do business development. And so it's a lot easier to hire lead gen to do that work for you when you're looking for clients. And it comes and you grow and you make money. And so that should be good until it's not, until it's a book of business that you built of clients, too many clients, maybe too low paying clients, or clients you just don't enjoy working with, or clients you don't have a relationship with, and you've grown the wrong way. Again. And I bring all this up because something that's been on your and my mind, yours and my mind, has been growing the right way, growing your firm the right way. And the right way, I'll just say it can be tougher at times. It can be tougher to start. It takes a little bit more energy and a little bit more intention, but it is worth more for that effort. You're going to enjoy it more for that effort. You can balance, capacity and burnout and workloads and client relationships and niches and higher fees and more services that way. Growing it the wrong way just means you're making more, you're working harder, you have clients that don't value you, and you end up in a place where you're considering, how in the hell did I get here and how the hell did I get out of here?
And you generally don't get out of here.
Right. And the hamster wheel,
tax season after tax season.
The hamster wheel runs again.
Yep.
This is Doug, and sorry to interrupt this podcast, but wanted to remind you of our membership and some of the benefits we have there at the Practicing Accountant. You can visit us online at www.thepracticingaccountant.com to learn about group coaching and training and some of the other benefits that we offer as a member of the Practicing Accountant. Please enjoy the rest of this episode, and thank you again for watching. And so, I appreciate the lead gen. I appreciate, especially when you're starting out, with a new business. I think every entrepreneur should be hungry for work, whatever it takes to sustain themselves, whatever it takes to provide for their family, get on their feet and get moving. I don't challenge that. I did that when I started coaching. I did that when I was in public accounting. I took what I could so that I could survive and get through, another year. But I think when you are a mature business, when you are at a point where, you have established yourself, lead gen for growth, to me sounds like just more bad clients.
Yep.
But that's why it's hard, right? Because if you use a lead gen, it's like if you find a really good recruiter, and to say that, earlier I talked about the ones that aren't so hot, but there are some recruiters out there that are amazing. You tell them what they want, what you want, and what kind of position you want. And that's the only thing they bring you. It's like going into Baskin Robbins and saying, I want Rocky Road. And they're going to bring you Rocky Road. They're not going to bring you vanilla and be like, here you go. Or here's chocolate. Don't notice that there's no marshmallows or nuts or peanuts in there. And I think that's what lead gen tends to do. And I'm sure there's some good ones out there that you say, I want construction and I want between 5 and 20 million, and I want them to pay me $5,000 for whatever I give them. And that's what I want. And that's what they bring you. I'm sure those exist. And that I would argue is not a wrong way to grow. But when it's just getting more.
It's not the wrong way to grow if you can say no to the wrong things that they might spit out. If you
Sure.
say yes to everything, that's going to create the issue that we're talking about.
Yeah, that puts you in a place of burnout.
Yep.
And hating this. And I know we're in a very sweet spot in public accounting. We're in July. So right now, what's happening, and I know this because I know this, we've had May to kind of rest. We've had June to go on vacation. And right now we're getting to the point of, that wasn't so bad. You know what? It was a big, busy season and I worked hard, but it wasn't really that bad. And we're just fueling the hamster wheel for another turn. I know exactly where we're at. And we're also far enough away from 9:15 and 10:15 that, we're not too worried right now. So this is the happiest moment in an accountant's year is they've worn off busy season. The next one, the 2 mini busy seasons coming aren't so bad. And this is great. I can do this again for another year.
Little tax season amnesia. Is that the right word for?
Sure. Yeah, they've gotten through one hangover and they're about to get really drunk here in the next few months again and experience another hangover again next year.
Yep.
But this is a nice sweet spot. But growing the right way, to me, it includes leads that match what it is you're trying to grow with. It includes the right type of clients. It includes the right niche, the right avatar, the right price, the right opportunity. It includes, the right relationship. And to me, my assumption again is that lead gen doesn't necessarily provide that consistently, but it does provide work and it does provide money, which is why it's so attractive. And it's easier than, I don't know, networking, branding, advertising, any kind of marketing, forming relationships, getting referrals, whatever. I had a magical
Anything.
referral. I had to brag about this for a second. I had an amazing referral today. So I got a call from a firm or an email. And so I set up a call with them this morning and I talked to them about what they needed. And, we came up with a good solution for them. And at the end, I was just kind of curious, like, how'd you connect with me? And they worked with a firm, consulting firm in Chicago who, it's kind of a thought leadership in public accounting firm. Like if I said their name, a lot of you would recognize it. And they had done some work with this consulting group and they wanted coaching. And that consulting group said, you need to call Doug Slabaugh. I was like, fuck yeah, that's the stuff, right? But that's the result of networking, branding, marketing, having conversations. Like I had a referral send me my perfect opportunity this morning, and it's a 5-figure opportunity, so I'm stoked.
Nice.
But that came from not lead gen. That came from my effort, and that to me is growing the right way because I'm getting an ideal client, an ideal opportunity, one that I can expand. I mean, this client could be, and I'm not going to jinx it, but it could turn into a multi-year experience of supporting a firm in its growth and development of its people and coaching. But that's the result of doing it. I keep holding back from saying the hard way, but maybe I should just say it. Like it is harder. Yeah. Maybe I should just own it. Like
And
it is
it
harder
takes longer.
to build it the right way. It is harder, and that's why that's why it's so seductive to follow the lead gen, is because it's easier.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, you could say, this is me really stretching it. You could say lead gen is part of the problem of public accounting right now. It's a lot of firms taking on a lot of work that they should be taking on, and they're doing it because they got it easy. And it's created burnout and problems with the experience of public accounting.
Lead gen and or unintentional referrals. If you're getting referrals from a good client, that doesn't mean that, their brother-in-law is going to be the right fit for you. And often not.
I don't know. I've had, maybe in the last 2 months, I've had that conversation 5 times where it's like, I know I need to fire this client, but my brother-in-law, aunt, brother, cousin, first grade teacher, referred me the work, and I have to do it because, we got the relationship thing there. And it's like, maybe. Are you going to see him at Christmas? I'm like, no. I was like, well, then get rid of him.
Yeah. Yep.
That should be the rule. Step 1, are you going to see him at Christmas? Answer, no, fire him. And if you are going to see him at Christmas, then we probably need to be a little more tactical about how we do it. But we still fire him.
It's the previous firm I worked for, the referrals that came from good clients that we said yes to for the revenue caused the most problems. And you just couldn't get rid of them because they were a referral from a really good client. Yeah. It's much easier just to say no on front end if it's not the right fit than it is to fire them.
It is. And it just saves you a lot of energy and time.
Yeah.
Like I wish we could measure energy as much as we measure time. Like how much we deplete and how much we add back and what things deplete it and what things add it back. But I know that a bad client, you lose a lot more energy in whatever way we measure that compared to hours.
So maybe instead of a time clock, we need some sort of biometric.
Yeah, right. Totally. We need to hook up something and
how much energy that client took.
Connect it to
That's how we charge them.
Yeah, charge my brain power. I love that. Where's that? Why don't we have that one? Forget value pricing. We should do brain pricing.
There you go.
Energy pricing.
That's our next thing.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. We're going to see if we can come up with a tool to do that. Yeah. So I guess, what does this have to do with radio and streaming? I think there's some analogies to draw. Radio streaming versus, lead gen and doing it yourself. And I'm not going to say which is which because it gets too complicated at that point, and there's opinions probably both sides.
Sure.
But when you can actually choose the music you listen to, this is a for and against. You can pick the stuff you want and enjoy the music you know. Every once in a while, you might hear something new and explore it and enjoy it. With radio, you don't know what you're going to get. You might get some surprises that you enjoy, or you might hear a song you've heard 100 times and could care less about. Like if I hear any more Led Zeppelin on the radio, like I can't get to the change the station button faster. Not because I don't like Led Zeppelin, but because I've heard Led Zeppelin I don't know what. So I don't want to hear that again.
And you get commercials, you get
Commercials and the
DJs
DJ.
talking.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. A lot of interruptions, a lot of things you got to deal with when you're not driving that bus.
Yep.
So anyway, I think I would, I think we should, and just to, appease my curiosity, just open up a discussion around success with lead gen and how they've been able to use that, not just to grow easy, but to grow right.
You bet. Awesome, man.
That's all I got.
Appreciate it. As always, we'll see you guys next time.
Cheers. Thanks for watching this episode of the Practicing Accountant Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed it. If nothing else, maybe learned a thing or two, and also maybe have some ideas about the right and wrong way to grow your firm. Our hope is just that it's the best firm it can be. Please like or share this episode with folks that you think might enjoy it, and also visit us at our website at www.thepracticingaccountant.com. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.